Welcome to the Week 6 post-game show. We have a new face for the season on here, but he's been on many post-game shows before. He's laggy tonight, so you're welcome. You get to enjoy some comical Tyler Krusz. We're also joined by Shane Dennehy and Fox Fay. And before I get to my Ozone Boys half apology, I guess is the way to put it. Guys, we are through 2/3 of the season, 6 of the 9 regular season weeks. We'll start with Krusz. Let's get him in here. What's your big takeaway from the first 2/3 of the season?
I think the top is very, very heavy. Like you have Boom, Good U, Lob City, all three teams that are very tough to beat, and that's gonna show come playoff times. Also, I love to see the Duyes boys sneaking up there as a really competitive team.
For sure.
And they look very good.
They do, and they had a very tough game against Lob now two game nights ago. Shane, your takeaway?
Yeah, I don't know. Just kind of like the new teams coming in. I think Good U, obviously, as Krusz said, I mean, to be undefeated so far and, be a new team, I think it's really impressive what they've been able to do so far.
Fox.
I mean, I just feel like for the most part, the teams we're seeing succeed are the teams that are like playing as one cohesive unit. And I'm also seeing a theme where a lot of them are kind of pushing the tempo. A lot of the most successful teams have been getting up and down the floor because that's just the easiest points, so they're scoring at higher percentages.
Yep, and then we get to talk about the halfway crooks in Island Time who sludged their way to a
I was gonna bring them up.
Yeah, Island Time or halfway crooks?
No, halfway crooks. I was gonna bring you guys up. You always start slow and then seem to find it at the end. So like I'm not shocked right now, and I'm not shocked if you guys maybe lose like one more game for the rest of the season.
That was so nice. That could have went so many other directions. Yeah, everything. But last year we didn't always start slow. That last year was our outlier, and I'm still bitter about how that ended. All right, so let's break down some of the Week 6 action, guys. For you new guys, it was a semifinal loss. We didn't have Dylan or Brett. I'm still mad. All right, moving on. We did have a finals rematch from last year. The Werewolves beat us in the semifinals. They then went on in double overtime against Lob. We're going to get to that game in a second. I think one of the close games besides Goodfellas, one of the other close games was the Blazers.
Always close.
Yes, always close. Was the Boston Blazers and Ozone Boys. The Ozone Boys do get the win. Let me get this out first before we get over to Shane, who will hopefully have some analysis for you guys. The Ozone Boys looking over for top plays all the time. They're gonna get some love. They definitely listen. They know I've called them out. I've used my line, beat a good team, before you try to say something. They beat a good team.
Hey.
They beat a good team in the Boston Blazers, 4-1 coming in. Blazers didn't play well, doesn't matter. But, you show up, you play. Ozone Boys win. Big win for them, gets them on the board. And now they, will be looked at as a team that I think they are. A team that can make some noise. So that's, listen, good job. If I can motivate teams, that's what I'm here to do. I'm going to motivate them some more. They're one of the few teams with a coach. Very interesting substitution patterns going on. That almost cost them a game in Week 6. We can throw this over to Shane. They did win 57-50. I will get the box score up in a second. Shane, now that my kind of rant is over, they have their best four. It really comes down to what's your best four against the other team's best four. The Ozone Boys' best four played well in Week 6, and they're going to need them to play well. But what else were they able to do to get the win against the Boston Blazers?
Yeah, just talking to the Blazers after their win over the Shady Dunkers, Corey Strickland was talking about how like these young teams are kind of just getting up and down, and that it's kind of hard for them. So I think the Ozone Boys was a little bit more advanced than the Shady Dunkers. Well, not a little, a lot, but like they're a lot better, and they have a lot of youth and athleticism, and that really kind of hurt the Blazers. They really don't have the guys that can stick with that. Obviously, Adae Bright and Terrence Gallo are able to keep that up, but I don't know. I thought the Blazers maybe should have went inside a bit more with their bigs, but I don't really know why they didn't. I think that would have helped, and that slows down the pace a little more, and it allows them to get back and stay in the game and not tire themselves out. So maybe fix that a little bit. And they're a good team, but I think this win really does validate the Ozone Boys season so far and puts them up there. And, teams are going to start looking at them like they're legit.
Yeah, which they are. And they proved that in Week 6. You mentioned going inside. The Blazers had them in foul trouble. They had some guys with 4 and 5 fouls and just weren't able to finish it off. And that would have, again, disrupted, their best 4, their best 5 players. That's how you get teams out of being able to play their best lineup down the stretch in a close game. Let's go over to, one of the other close games. We'll save my game for
I'll
a
take
second.
it.
Yeah, okay. Goodfellas Stampede.
I want to say something about the
Oh, hi, go ahead. Yeah, so Tyler Krusz is here. I forgot.
I think they're a really good team once they settle down and just play their kind of basketball. I mean, I feel like in our game against them, they were looking for the highlights. They were trying to do too much. Once they settle down and play their brand of basketball, I think they are really tough to beat.
They are. They've settled in nicely. I think that was something we all kind of noticed the first couple weeks, going for the highlights. That's what the league's about until you're trying to win basketball games. Then it's about executing and really hitting shots and playing basketball. And the only other critique I have for them and some of the other new teams, I mean, I've said this about Good U, but it's a little different for Good U. We'll get to them. They have a bunch of players who have played significant basketball in their lives. The Ozone boys are young. We know that, and that doesn't really mean too much. Legacy League's fourth quarter close games in front of crowds in the playoffs, crazy things happen. I was talking to you guys on the way out this past week. Just real quick, you're up 6 with 4 minutes to go. You think you got it. Basketball math says you have a great chance to win. You blink. It's a Cody Crawford 3, a Victor Kashu Jr. dunk, a Greg Holt fadeaway 3, and now you're down with 2.5 to go. You're like, wait a minute. This all happened so fast. What's going on? Place is going crazy. So we need to see it from them in a good game against a good team, grind it out, and withstand those runs. Goodfellas Stampede. Goodfellas improved to 3-3.
Yeah, 500.
There you go, 500, 64-58. We'll throw it to Krusz first, who had some choice words in the post-game press conference. I was reading the article. That'll be up by the time you guys are watching this. Krusz, big win, defensive win, talking about sludge match, which we'll get to in a second. You guys kind of similar, focusing on the defensive end.
I would like to finally win a game that isn't close. I mean, I feel like we have a lot of guys, like you saw Martinelli score 21 last week. Pesky had 19. That kid's like 5 foot nothing. MJ can shoot. Sweeney can score, but nobody's put it together on the same night. I feel like once we do that, we can finally blow a team out. We've played the hardest part of our schedule. We got Duyer's boys next week, and I feel like once we put it together, we'll be good. But last game was just honestly defensive. They played a lot inside. We're not as big as them, so it was a hard fought game. I came in and threw my body around a bit for a minute, and it was a fun game.
Let's see, Tyler.
But Martinelli had a great 3 fouls.
Shout out.
That's all. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
But Martinelli had a great game. He was getting inside, and once we have guys that can all shoot at the same time, I think we're going to be a lot better than what you've seen.
For sure. We're going to stop that real quick. All right. Heading back to another game, and then we'll do some week 6 thoughts overall in a second. Let's go to the Halfway Crooks and Island Time, the other single-digit game. There wasn't a ton of those this week. I think that is the only other single-digit game from week 6. Island Time does get the win, 62-56. It was their new player, Kendall Gillians, their point guard, who's made his debut in week 6. Really changed the dynamic of that team. Someone that can get his own shot. That's what it comes down to in this league ultimately. How hard are you working for your points? Island Time has had to work super hard. He's the type of player that allows them to get easier buckets. What'd you guys see from Island Time? Only 4 guys, but able to get the win.
Yeah, so, I mean, you touched on Kendall Gillians coming in and making a difference right away. He was huge. He picked up some steals and stuff like that, got his team extra possessions, hustle rebounds, just doing all the extra stuff, making sure his team gets those extra possessions necessary to put forward obviously, get up some more shots, make some more baskets. It also didn't help that the Halfway Crooks, Jared Hansen coming in off of a few weeks off, so he wasn't necessarily shooting his best game.
Yeah. Are you calling him out of shape? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, he was jet lagged. He had only come in a couple hours before the game.
Good save, Fox. Good save. Yeah, tough game for the Halfway Crooks. You see a 5-point first quarter there, and then an 8-point fourth quarter. So not going to get it done against teams that have Mike Wilbur, and we're talking about Kendall Gillians, and even if I can scroll back down, Jeff Winchell had a huge game. Was kind of just getting them some other easy buckets as well as they improved to 2-4, and the Halfway Crooks fall to 1-5. Let's get to that finals rematch as we kind of touch on some of these wider margin matchups from week 6. Lob City able to defeat the Werewolves 85-61. I know Krusz is on this court. We can start over there, and you guys can chime in. Werewolves were shorthanded, as was Lob City. And it was still Lob City able to, blow it open in the end for a 20-plus point win.
I mean, you call it shorthanded. They still had Greg Bell, Cody Crawford, and Vic Kashu Jr. And when those three guys are on the court, it's really tough to beat them. And honestly, I think that's why they lost to Boom. I mean, besides this game, we were the last team to play them with all three of those guys in the court. And I'm not even trying to shout us out, but those three guys will, I think, beat almost anybody in this league.
Yep. And Fox, you were over there, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was just the way I was feeling out this game, but this game felt a lot closer than that final score dictates. I mean, if you take a look at the third and fourth quarter stats, like complete opposites.
Right.
I mean,
the second half was crazy.
Yeah, the Werewolves found a way to stick around. Like, they didn't go down easily at all.
Yeah, and I was talking to
Gino had his best game of the season. Sorry, Joe.
Yeah, I was going to say that. No, 5 made threes. I mean, when Gino's doing that, that adds a whole nother dynamic to that team. I was talking to Cody Crawford after the game, who was saying that it was like, I was like, you blow them out. I saw the final score. He's like, I mean, they were winning the entire time. The Werewolves would kind of make a run, cut it to, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 points, kind of start piecing it back together on a comeback. And then, Lob City would kind of go on their run to answer, to kind of put away the Werewolves. So Lob City still just one loss as we await, which we're going to preview, Boom Shakalaka and Good U in week 7, the 2 undefeated teams going head to head. Let's get to one of those undefeated teams that remained undefeated. Boom Shakalaka defeats the Bucket Chasers 106-80. Boom had, was this the game where someone ran in late? I believe Jose Mercado ran in late, so they started with 3 guys.
Jose ran in a couple minutes late.
And still able to get a huge win. What has impressed you most about Boom this season, guys?
So, I mean, obviously, yeah. obviously, you can't talk about Boom without talking about Jose. But I've also definitely been impressed, at least over these last couple of weeks, at seeing how much more they are than just Jose. Where they do have other guys stepping up. You can see Lucas Martin and Mark Belleville both stepping up with 26 each. Just everyone able to step up when Jose, for whatever reason, like this time he showed up late. He's getting like double teamed and stuff like that. It makes it easier for other guys to score as well.
Yeah, and another thing, I didn't think Boom was going to put up 100 in this game. I think what made it a lot easier for them was Lucas's ability to get inside. I mean, usually you see him on the outside and for 3, but like I was on that court taking pictures and he was in the lane for a lot of the game. And that opens a lot up when your point guard, who's probably one of the smaller guys in the court, can get inside.
Yeah, and you have to account for Kevin Figueiredo wasn't there for the Bucket Chasers, so that just makes the middle wide open for him to just – yeah, Boom, like they're 4 guys to just constantly only have 4 guys and to be able to dominate like that is really impressive on their part.
Yeah, they won triple doubles last week.
yeah, I know. The week before, foursome of triple doubles? They all had triple doubles.
Yeah.
Is
that like a 12? I was a stat guy in that. Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad we got that squared away. The team that Boom Shakalaka will be facing, the lone other undefeated team, Good U, takes care of the Shady Dunkers 127-70. The nightcap in week 6. We've all been impressed with Good U. They continue to roll. We can kind of loop this into the conversation for next week, even though we do have one more game to touch on, everyone's favorite team, Duyer's boys. But Good U, big win, against the Shady Dunkers team that has been putting it together, but didn't have it in week 6.
So, yeah. So, I mean,
against Good U.
Yeah.
Yes, but definitely. So, I mean, Good U's been impressive. I mean, if you can pull up that box score, they scored 47 points in the fourth quarter. Just no mercy. They just didn't care. And that's honestly, Shady Dunkers brought that upon themselves. They were still talking and stuff down by 20 in the fourth quarter. And Good U just was relentless. They were missing some players too. They only had 5 guys there. But again, they're all just able to do it.
I think they're one of the deepest teams in the league.
For sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. Just obviously, like Fox said, no Brendan Degnan, no Mount St. Hours. So to just put it on the Shady Dunkers like that, especially with, really not having the size to go against Aaron Gray. But I don't know. They just remained focused and took care of business against one of the weaker teams in the league. So to just continuously have your foot down on another team's throat like that continuously shows a lot. And it's going to be an interesting matchup when they play Boom next week.
For sure. Yep. And we're going to get to that very soon. I do want to preview that matchup. But first, Duyer's boys, they have 2 losses. I think they've won 4 in a row. Duyer's boys, I believe they're 4-2. We can pull that up in a second. They get another win, taking down the Basket Hounds 90-58. Is anyone over there for that besides me, mainly? Awesome. Let's.
I was there for some of it.
All right. Yeah, Krusz, break them down. So
I was there. Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad we were all there. In some.
You first.
Awesome. Shane, yeah, go ahead. Duyer's boys, really impressive, that win streak. And then next week, who do they get?
Us.
I thought we mentioned it.
Oh yeah, the Goodfellas. Yeah.
There you go. So
they'll take care of it.
It's gonna be close.
Well, yeah, we'll see if they can put it together.
They should win out. The Duyer's boys should win out.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, Joey, to correct you, I think they're 3-3.
Yeah, they are.
Because they lost to Lob City.
Yeah, they're 500.
Got it. Yeah, Shane, what did they do in week 6 to get to 500?
They just took care of business, dominated against, I don't know, a lower team. John Coutu with a triple-double, Zach Tartaglia 30 points. So, I mean, it was just a really impressive performance on their part, and just, talking to Shane Patrick after about his trash talk and all that, and him just, playing mind games with other people. I don't know. It was interesting. It's funny, I don't know. Honestly, I like trash talk. If people back it up, I'm all for it. Like, if you don't want someone to talk, then beat them. So, I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting. And Shane Patrick is confident they can win. They can win it all if they have it all clicking. So we're going to see how they should go into the playoffs with a 4-game winning streak. So they're going to have momentum going forward. So we're going to see how it all goes for them.
Yeah, Shane Patrick and the word confidence just go hand in hand. I mean, those words might equal each other. And the one thing about Shane Patrick that I've always Shane talks and does his thing and everyone knows it and it's cool. And then when he gets dunked on, he gives you a little head nod and a smile. It's like, all right, you got me. Like that. This is what it's about. It's fun. And that's the part that I respect most, because it's not, it is all in fun.
Agreed.
And then when he does get it back on him, because it happens to everybody, he's like, all right, high five, good job. Respect. Even him, bombarding the Jose Mercado interview when Jose dropped exactly 50. That's insane.
Yeah, he was doing that with Mike Bartholomew yesterday with all his threes, a little stretch. So that was good.
Nothing, Krusz? All right.
Of course he was.
All right, we're going.
I think it's going to be a close game. It's going to be fun to get him next week. I'm looking forward to it.
Good. Don't light a fire under anybody yet, Tyler Krusz.
I'm going to dunk on him.
Let's go to Krusz first. Let's go to Krusz first and down the line as we preview what will be the Week 7 game of the week. Boom Shakalaka and Good U. Crooks Werewolves is frisky. Lob Blazers is going to be good. There's a ton of good games. Duyer's Goodfellas, Shady Island time. A lot of good games as we get down the stretch. The final 3 weeks of the season. We'll go to Krusz first. What is your X factor thing that'll stand out the most, or the most important thing when Boom Shakalaka takes on Good U in Week 7?
So the one thing that I see in this game, Good U is an excellent team. They are very deep, but they don't really have a standout big man, and I really don't know how you can guard Jose with someone who isn't at least close to his height. I mean, it's going to be interesting. If they can find a way to do it to keep him somehow out of the paint and under the rim, then I think they have a good shot at winning this game, especially if Boom is shorthanded, because they can run.
Yeah, Shane?
I'm going to go kind of piggyback off what Krusz said. I'm going to say kind of team defense for Good U. I mean, obviously trying to contain Jose Mercado it's not a one-man job. It's going to take everyone to do that, and I think I kind of overheard them talking about just they were clogging the lane against shady dunkers to kind of stop Kenzie Marte and Aaron Gray. Obviously, it's a different beast when it's Jose Mercado, but it's going to take that kind of stuff to just clog the lane and not let them get that and kind of keep them on the outside. So it's really going to be a good game, therefore. And then if Good U has all of their players.
And Degnan.
It's going to be, Degnan, Matt St. Hours, they roll 7 deep. So it's going to be interesting. It really is.
And Fox, let me just jump in real quick. It's always the thing between, do you want to stop Jose Mercado and let the rest of the guys go off and you lose more, still a good chance that is a recipe for a loss, or do you let Jose Mercado get his, and then if he gets 50, 60, 70, that might also lead you to a loss? The thing you don't want to do is get stuck in the middle where you're giving Jose his and then everyone else is also going off, and now you're double screwed. So it's going to be interesting how they play it. Fox, your big preview takeaway.
So I mean, obviously that team defense is going to be huge. Boom Shakalaka this past week just got Brandon Sweeney back from injury.
Yep.
So that's another big body that could help him out down low too. I think the team defense the other way will be just as important. Good U has a lot of really strong ball movement. They find the open space. So that team defense both ways is going to be huge.
For sure. And yeah, Sweeney will be very interesting. He likes to shoot a ton of threes, right, Krusz?
Yeah. Good guy too. I like Sweeney.
No, I know he's a good guy, but he's just like, I'll pull it. I'll pull it for the 10th time today.
If you whisper in his ear, pull it, he'll just do it.
Easily baited, Brandon Sweeney back on Boom Shakalaka. Guys, very good job for the Week 6 post-game show, Week 7. A ton of great matchups. Stay tuned for all the stuff. I have to shout out the new artwork this way. 0-1 with
I
the
love
poster.
the poster. I was going to say it.
0-1. Listen, each team's represented now, and poster's not bringing me luck, but it does look good. Yeah, I'm happy with it. For Krusz, Shane, Fox, I'm Joey, and we'll see you for Week 7. The playoffs are almost here. Stay tuned, and thanks for watching.